Hello, welcome back to Tales from the Car. It's your host Joshua, and tonight we're recording mini episode number 10, and this is going to be When Me and Your Heroes Goes Right, part 10. And it's kind of a short episode. We had a bunch of stuff planned for this week because of one scheduling mishap or another. Me and Catherine are not able to record together, and this is actually just me tonight. And I didn't want to miss a week or get too far ahead of another day before we recorded something, so I guess here it goes. Nothing new to... Well, this week, actually, I should say this, I guess. This episode is going to be discussing the... I have the date here, too. The mini Star Trek convention that was in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania on November 11th and 12th, 1989. And as we're discussing James Doohan, who was Scotty in Star Wars, and Richard Chavez, who's an actor, did a lot of action films. I don't know what he's done, honestly, in the last 30-some years. But we'll get into him and all this stuff in a few minutes. As far as show notes, there isn't really much to say. We'll be back on track next week. I'm pretty sure we're going to do the episode we planned this week for next week. And just keep going from there. What else? There's no update on episode 13 yet. I need to reach out to my buddy and see if he's looked into this at all or what's going on. But let's get into, I guess, the show notes. And as you know, this is Tales from the Car, and we are a weekly podcast available on every major podcast platform you can imagine. Like and follow the show, subscribe to it wherever you listen to us at. So share the show with your friends, your family, your enemies, whoever it might be. Spread the word. Help get some more exposure and stuff. If you can, also give us a 5-star review wherever you listen. Doesn't matter what the platform is, and that'll help us out even more. If you want to donate the show, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/Mr. Pogo1972 in the letter B. You can email the show at mrpogo1972@gmail.com. You can join the Facebook group, search Tales from the Car Podcast, and send an invite in, and we'll get choked up. There is 2 Tales from the Car podcast groups. It's the same thing. Once you see the logo, you'll know it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm not sure what to do with the second group. If we're just going to go ahead and keep just the first one. I don't know. Well, either one, join both or join one or the other. It's all good. And Joe at leastpodcast.net. Good to hear from you this week, man. I know you're alive, and thanks for all your help and the show art and everything. And that wraps it up. We'll be right back with discussion of James Doohan and Richard Chavez. Hang on 1 second. Hey, I'm back. Sorry about the delay of the dead air there. So let's get into this. So, back in the late 80s back home, from what I remember, there was 2 Star Trek conventions that took place at the Iram Temple in downtown Wilkes-Barre. And this was the second one. The first one, and I guess one day we'll get into that and we'll talk about William Shatner. But that's for another day. This is just... these 2, and I didn't know it was a 2-day convention. I remember being 1 day, and I think I went. I don't know if it was Saturday and Sunday or Friday and Saturday. Now I can't remember. Well, it was probably Friday and Saturday. I remember being there. At least my memory seems to think I was there on a Saturday, and they had vendors and stuff. They had a Q&A thing with both actors. I remember very little about this, except that both of them were very nice to fans. I feel so bad. I mean, James Doohan is famous for being Scotty on on Star Trek, and Richard Chavez. Hold on one second. If I get these right, hold on. So anyway, I'm back. I'm sorry. So Richard Chavez was in a number of things, and I'm looking through his IMDb page, and I thought it was interesting because he was Poncho in Predator. I think he's the guy that says to Jesse Ventura, and shout out to Kathy, I know she'll love the wrestling reference. It's not my fault. This movie is... Predator is an amazing film if you've never seen it. Definitely highly recommend you find this and watch it. But I think he's the guy who in Predator says to Jesse Ventura, "Hey, you're bleeding," to which Jesse says, "I ain't got time to bleed." Which is one of the all-time greatest lines of any film. And pretty much everybody dies but with Schwarzenegger in that film. But it's, whatever, spoiler alert, whatever. But it's definitely a great film, good action movie. And he was in War of the Worlds, the TV series, which was on Fox. I thought he was only in one season. I thought they only did one season of the show. I guess they did two. I don't think it went past that. And he was killed in the opening of season 2 because even though he was the main character of the show, they felt that he didn't fit the direction of the show going forward or some shit. And then he was also in, this surprised me, he was in Days of Our Lives in 2001. He did 4 episodes at least as Captain Eduardo. I don't know what the storyline with that was, but that's kind of an interesting side note. But I feel bad. I don't really have much to say because we had a whole episode planned and this whole thing got messed up. And like I said, both guys were really nice and very, very friendly to fans, which is always good. And I remember, I think this was the one where I was talking to the Starlog editor as I was waiting for my ride probably from my mom, who sometimes could be kind of unreliable when she might show up to pick you up or something. And I think he was waiting for his cab. I remember talking to him. I think I might have even gotten a car to contact him, but like a dumbass, I never did. Who knows? Maybe I could have. One of those woulda, coulda, shouldas. I always thought myself I'd end up being a writer someday, and who knows? Maybe that could have been a way to parlay into something. Is a lot of people started out as teenage writers and photographers for magazines. Here's another wrestling reference, and because guys like Jim Cornette and Paulie Dangerously, or Paul Heyman as he's known now, started out as teenage photographers for magazines in the 70s and 80s and early 80s. And Eddie Gilbert, though Gilbert is one of those situations where his family was one of the more famous wrestling families, although it's kind of forgotten these days. So he probably would have ended up in the business anyway, but he did start out as a correspondent for magazines and a photographer as well. No, the interesting thing about the Richard Chavez thing, and I will take pictures. I still have the autographs. I don't have any pictures, but I have the ticket that James Doohan signed that, and Richard Chavez. I got it at 8x10, but it's so funny. This thing is on a piece of Xerox paper, which, if I'm not mistaken, he's signed beforehand. This is so bizarre, and. He was signing pictures, but for some reason, he wouldn't. And the autographs were free, by the way. This is another strange thing, even for back then. I think if you paid for a ticket, you didn't have to pay for an autograph, or if we did, it was a very nominal amount of money because I don't even remember. But he had this thing, and they were like, "Oh, why don't you just take one of the ones he's already signed?" But it seemed like it was Xerox. I was like, yeah, but it's not the same thing. So he ended up signing it in front of me, in black marker. And I'll take a picture because it's so bizarre. He signed on it twice, but I swear to God, the first picture is a photocopy. It's the first autograph. You know what I mean? is a photocopy, and it's not an actual signature that he had done. Like he signed like one picture, and they Xerox like 100 of these or whatever. But he was still a nice guy. I thought that was weird, but overall he was a nice guy, and I can't shit on him too much. I'm not really trying to, but that's the story. And that was like 1999, and they had one. I think, and I thought this happened in like 88 or 87, honestly. And the one they did before this with Shatner, I think, was like the year before, so maybe that was 88. But I don't know. The years are confusing me now. I can't remember. That's what happens when you get old, folks. I had the ticket. I thought, and I don't know why I didn't bother looking at it ever before this, but it's like, oh shit, it really was, it's like 1989, and like I didn't think about it until today. Anyway, I thought I was younger than 17. Do the math, folks. I'm not ashamed of that. But that is that. I don't know. This is such a screwed up episode. But one thing I didn't want to talk about, I know, and is that today is February 17th, and it is the day my mom passed away. It's gone like 21 years. And I I almost just thought of doing like a tribute episode to her, and then I thought I didn't want to do a full length episode. I wasn't sure, I wasn't prepared to do that either, and to really do her justice. We've talked about her before plenty of times on this show. She was mentioned first on mini episode number 1, way back when we did the first Joy and Irony of Dating. She's mentioned there, and she's mentioned in, I forget the episode number. It's the episode where it might be, I think it's the first. Because off the top of my head, it's late. I can't remember. I think it's the first Me and Your Heroes Goes Right story. When it wasn't for her, I would never have met Black Sabbath and Motorhead, and she was an amazing person. She really was, and it's a shame she never got to really see her grandkids grow up. Last time she saw my son, he was a little baby. He wasn't even, God, he was like a year and a half old, maybe. It's so sad. But no, I'm sorry, because mom died in 2004, so because of my dad, it's late. People are not prepared for this. By the time my mom had died, Judd was almost like 3. But he doesn't have memories of her. We have pictures of him and her together, but sadly he doesn't remember her or will ever know her. She never got to meet my daughter either. It's terrible. She died real suddenly of a brain aneurysm. And there's definitely an episode to do about my mom and in her passing, which I guess would be like a car mishap episode, which is weird. I know I had when both my mom and my dad passed away, I had major car problems, and I just don't have the time and patience or energy to really litigate all this today. But before we go, we're going to play a full song. We're not going to do closing show notes or anything. Everything will be down in the show notes, where you can go back and listen to the first part of this episode where we give the breakdown of where to find us and donate and all that stuff. But I'm going to close this show out with a song by Flogging Molly, which with the band we've only discussed briefly once or twice, and that was with it was like episode, not episode 10, I forget what it was. It was the episode where we talked about the Bouncing Souls. So when I saw the Bouncing Souls in 2001, they opened for them. Anyway, the song's called If I Ever Leave This World Alive, and the version I'm going to play is a live version of the song from April of 2010, or 2009, I think it is actually. I'm sorry. Let me look that up, actually. Let me make sure so it'll be accurate on this. The link for it is good. I'm not sure where this left off even. This whole thing got screwed up. So now if you can hear that in the background, there's the opening of the song, but we're going to hold off a second here, so I'm going to play this out. Anyway, the song again is If I Ever Leave This World Alive, and this is the live version from Richmond, Virginia at the National on April 29th, 2010. It's definitely one of the best live versions of the song you'll find, and I'm definitely in the crowd that night somewhere. There's another clip online from this show. I think it's the 7 Deadly Sins, where you can whoever filmed this pans the crowd, and you can definitely see me in the audience. But I don't know, it's just a funny fact I thought I'd throw in there. But and shout out to Dave King, the lead singer of Fogger Molly. He's going through some serious health problems apparently at the moment, and they have canceled all of their touring for this year. So I hope he gets better soon. And the other great thing about this concert, about this performance, and I highly recommend you watch it, I'll put the link in the show notes, is that by the end of the song, the crowd is singing along, and they're so loud, they're drowning the band out. That's that's how amazing these guys are. So hope you enjoy this. Send me an email, contact the show, let me know if you liked it or not, whatever. Mr. Pogo1972 at gmail.com. And I'm going to go ahead and hit play on this song. And I love you, Mom. And I'm thinking about you all the time. And everybody else out there, man, hug your mom, hug your kids tight tonight. Be thankful you have them, and stay warm and take care. And peace out.
Your hearts out there tonight. Now it's time to sing your hearts out. All right.